Good evening, it's Friday, you know what that means. It's Barbers Arms episode 45 on the 12th of March 2021. Coming up, we've got a cracker for you tonight. Me and Gaz will take you through the news next, just coming up shortly. Wales, you're back. You're the first back on the 15th, which is Monday. And tonight on Barbers Arms coming up, we've got the fantastic, amazing, award-winning hairdresser, barber, photographer, award-winning stylist Kevin Luchmun's going to be joining us in Barbers Arms at 8:15. Around about 8:45, we've got Gaz's cocktail, which is top of the morning to you with it being Paddy's Day. And we've got an Irish theme to the cocktails. 8:55, we've got one of the new breed of the new kids on the block. We've got Dale Hince joining us in Barbers Arms, and then me and Gaz will take you up to closing time. All in association with the British Barbers Association and Wahl UK. Please welcome my co-host, the one and only Mr. Gary Machin.
Wow, thank you very much, Mr. Simon Shaw. What a pleasure. It's another week's past. 93,500 views from last week. Fantastic. Thank you very much to all our loyal viewers all around the world. Thank you very much for Chris, Stephen and Carl coming on the show. They were great guests last week. Give us an insight of both sides of the big pond and from Yorkshire and down south. So thank you very much again for all those guys. I'm going to start my little bit off for stats of the week, just quickly, just because it's a bit of fun and, you know, just a few things that happened today on this day. Internet's birthday, 1989. First time. It's got a lot to answer for. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mr. Tim Bernard-Lee. So he actually sent the first message, 1989, on this day. England's first women ordained in the church this day in 1994, and Les Mis was on Broadway in 1987, the third longest running show on there. Some things coming up further on in the week. We've got Mother's Day, fantastic. All the mothers out there, we'll have a little talk about that. And it's Paddy's Day on Wednesday, so 17th of March. I usually have that off. So hence, we've got a little Irish theme to the party tonight. Top of the morning to you. I've got a bit of Guinness on the go. All the very best, Simon.
Happy Mother's Day, happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day, happy Paddy's Day. And one of our biggest fans as well, right from day one, it's Alison Russo Brown's birthday. I think it's on Sunday, so happy birthday, Ali. I know you're always watching. I'm not going to discuss your age, which you told me today, which you shouldn't ever do before a Barber's Arm. You should never disclose your age on this show. I'm going to be able to keep everybody away from that. You don't look 53 anyway, Ali. You look not a day over 52 years and 364 days. So have a great day up in Forfar. You've got a great salon up there, Boyzone, and keep watching Barbers Arms. Guys, I've been really motivated this week. I think I mentioned it to you on Monday when we spoke, but the amount of people when you speak, and especially when we do like the team talk and stuff, and I'll say, one of the things, what can you look back at in 2020 and 2021 that you look back and you're proud of? And obviously one of the things that we've done is obviously Barbers Arms, nearly 6 million views, 350,000 podcasts. We'll always look back at 2020 and be proud of what we've done here. And I challenge the people that's on the team talks. What have you done? Is it upskilled? Have you learned how to do your social media better? Have you done something for your family that's better? But one of the things I always say is, we started this show, Barbers Arms, and I'm like, yeah, we watch it every Friday. So we always have as top fans, but we don't realise people, obviously, like you've just said, 90,000 from last week. We know that there's a massive view. But this goes out to everybody, not who watches us live on Friday night, but Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, when we watch in the conservatory newspaper, and that's when you watch Barbers Arms. One thing that I've learned is people have a set time every week when they tune into Barbers Arms. So this message goes out to all of you if you're watching it on a Sunday morning with your cup of coffee. Hello from me and Gaz. Keep watching us. Keep the faith. Hopefully we're fetching you a bit of light candor during lockdown 3. Wales, Gary, they're going back on Monday. Congratulations to all our Welsh colleagues out there. Hope you all smash it on Monday.
Yeah, they've done it a bit different as well, Wales, haven't they? They in the Senate there, they decided to go back. They've let hairdressers and barbers go back. Well, At the moment, I did see some breaking news this afternoon that they're just rejigging it a little bit because they're the mobile side of the business that they're worried about going into people's houses. So you got to keep an eye on that, Wales. Just keep an eye on what the Senate are doing. I think they're actually sitting as we speak. But yeah, non-essential retail they're not allowing back. Beauty therapists they're not allowing back, and nail bars, but they're letting hairdressers and barbers back. So we're halfway there in one of the devolved nations. So yeah, it's, you know, and then you've got the other extreme. Northern Ireland haven't even had a date yet, let alone, talking about.
We had a big we had 3 colleges amalgamate on a team talk that I think I did on Tuesday. And, you're talking about Wales going back, UK 12th of April, Scotland 26th of April. But unfortunately, when you're speaking to people in Northern Ireland and Southern Ireland, there's no date at the minute. I'm sure they'll get round to that, and I'm sure you're not going to be too far away. It might even be middle of when the UK and the Scots open back up, or just on the same day as the Scots, or just shortly after. Just keep the faith, guys. There is real light now at the end of the tunnel. 23 million people vaccinated. So I think we're getting there.
Just talking about that, with you being a lot older than me, have you had yours through yet?
I'm just gonna set same to you, you cheeky bastard. No, I have not. I did. Well, no, I haven't had it yet. I think I'm in category 6, and they're on category 9 at the minute in my area. But then there's a lot of people that's a lot younger than me who have different surgeries where I live that have all said, yeah, we've got ours, and even younger people I know have had it. So I don't know, folks out.
Joking apart, I think the rule at the moment is over 56s, but I and I brought it up because I was chuckling to myself, and so I've actually had my letter through yesterday, your pre-COVID checklist, and they said mine would be through within the week. So I think in certain areas, I mean, I'm semi-rural where we live. Well, you've been to where I live. There's green all round. So I think in certain areas, I think they're on top of it. It's run quite smoothly, and they're ahead of the game, really. So, I'm only just 50, and they're giving me mine very, very soon. So that's all good news. I hope everybody else is having a little good news around the country at the same time. So, I think they are making inroads on it. So there is light, like you say, at the end of the tunnel. And,
there is. And, I think I work for a brand that's been very protective to our workforce, that's continued to work through lockdown production team, warehouse team. So to get into Wahl HQ headquarters, it would be easy to get into House of Parliament at the minute. We're very strict. And I still think that is a protection of the workforce, which is strong leadership from our company. Some people say, well, everybody else, but why are you not doing shows or exhibitions and stuff? And I think it's just really a care and attention to our employees to protect everybody and to do the right thing. So every company's going to be different. We're really strong on making sure that, nothing's going to be loosened until we're really out of it. And I think that's a positive step for everybody. We've said it a few times on here as well, the date for most restrictions to be lifted will be 21st of June. But I think Easter's going to be a big test. We're just going to keep doing the right thing because you never know, do you? The last thing we want is bloody lockdowns in areas.
Yeah. I think it's going to be inevitable that we have little flare-ups around the country, and how they're going to deal with that, I'm not sure. But I think the main thing is try and get everybody vaccinated. And then, I mean, we've gone back work into the academy this week, which has made my week quite normal, really. We had students in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I've done, nearly a full week, really, by my standards. But we've told all students that they've got to turn up with a negative test result 24 hours before. If they can't prove that, we do testing on site before we let them on premises. So, it's something that you've got to do, because you've got a duty of care to everybody else, but also a duty of care to staff and duty of care to your business, haven't you? Because you don't want to be locked down as soon as you've gone back. So we've gone back. Obviously, you can't work on live heads at the moment unless you're in your education bubble, but you can't bring external models or clients in. So, but, there is you know, these little chinks keep coming back. We you know, colleges and education schools.
Aren't staff allowed to do each other's hair now if you're going in with the salon owner and you're allowed to go in and maybe upskill or check all your equipment and start getting your retail areas ready? And
this is a very, very grey area, and I had exactly the same. I had a lot of phone calls on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and especially Monday morning for clarification on whether they can work on each other within the class. Now, BEIS, who runs Close Contact Services, they set all policy for us. And I was talking to Caroline Larissy at the NHBF. At the moment, you can work on each other if you're in an educational bubble, taking all the right precautions, but you cannot go in. It has to be a training environment. So it has to be an academy. You can't just go in for staff training. It has to be an academy or somebody is officially, you know, a student. You can't just go in and do each other's hair. It doesn't send the right message from the public's point of view. You don't want to knock on the door and, you know, all this kind of razzmatazz that goes on with people seeing hair being done in the shops. It's for academy or training premises only at the moment. If you want to do staff training, I think, you know, there will be some clarity over that from BEIS. And I actually phoned up and said this. So there might be another, it hasn't come out yet, but there might be another update on that, and they might tighten that up, because there's always somebody somewhere just willing to push the envelope, isn't there? You know what I mean?
What about, I've got some questions coming in here as well. What about if you training your staff inside the shop and they're all working on mannequins?
Now, if it's just staff training, just CPD, at the moment, that hasn't been covered. If it's somebody who is apprentice, if they're on an accredited qualification, or if they're actually on a training program, then yes, at the moment. Anything else, it's a little bit of a grey area at the moment, and we're just waiting for clarification of that. Again, because people are just going to, you know, push the envelope a little bit and you know, not take advantage, but, and not, I'm not saying they're going to break the rules, but everybody's so desperate. We just need to set the right example and the right tone. You don't want people in the, you know, loads of people in the shop having hair done and people trying the door and let me in kind of thing. So
yeah, you get a few people saying, I'm pissed off, I want to be out. Why is he having his head? Why it works? Yeah, I think there's a great, hopefully next week or so. But I would still encourage people to go into your shop, start taking your clippers over, cleaning them. You know, there's still time as well, by the way, to join me on our Wahl team talks. We've done probably 8 or 9 this week, different colleges, different salons. It's a 1-hour team talk with myself, free of charge to your salon. You can apply through the Wahl social media sites and Instagram accounts just to get a team talk with myself for you and your staff. It's a 1-hour clipper clinic, talking all things positive about the industry, how to use your clippers, how to maintain your clippers, some new product information. So it's a one-to-one for you and your team. So take advantage of that while you can, while you're still in lockdown. If you want to follow us on Instagram as well, my Instagram is Simon Shaw Wahl. On our Instagram, Gaz is the British Barber. Barbers_arms is the Barbers Arms Instagram account. Our website is thebarbersarms.co.uk. And if you want to email us, it's barbersarms@thebritishbarber.com. Coming up very shortly, he's just joined us in the car park. We've got the award-winning Kevin Luchmun, who's going to be joining us. I'm sure Kevin will have a big following on tonight's show. And guys, next week, again, it's a biggie on Barbers Arms. We've got our guests lined up for the next 6 weeks, but joining us next week, we have the fellowship duo. We have Ken Picton from down in Cardiff. Ken's a great ambassador for this industry, done amazing work with the fellowship, top award-winning hairdresser. We've got Barry Stevens as well, who is the president of the fellowship as well, who's going to be joining us. And then we have one of our oldest friends, one of my oldest friends anyway in the industry, top presenter, top guy, Manny's King. We've got MK, who is also going to be joining us on the show next week for episode 46 of Barbers Arms. Getting up to that big 1-year anniversary. Gary, I had a beautiful present delivered to me this week, and you was on it. It's a beautiful frame photograph with a graffiti artist pulling it back, saying established on the 11th of the 4th, 2020. and a photograph of me and you, which says Barber's Arms on it. Out of the generosity of me, I said to the guy who did it, can you do me one more, please? So I've got one getting ready for you, mate.
I was just going to say, I'm very jealous. Steve Luke's fantastic. And when you sent me the message, I only picked the message up this morning, and I sent you a message, a simple one, brilliant. It's Carl. It's absolutely
Carl Smith.
Yeah, it's he's done you proud there, mate.
Thanks, Carlos. One of my top mates, Carl, has done me a beautiful present there. He keeps doing me little stuff now and again like that, so it's nice. Okay, we're all set for our first guest on episode 45 here on the 12th of April 2021, lockdown 3. We're coming out of it very shortly. Wales are back on Monday on the 15th, and then we are back on the 12th here in the UK. Without further ado, though, joining us on Barber's Arms for the very first time, we have the multi-award winning top presenter, top barber, top hairdresser. I've known this young man, especially from when he won the British Men's Hairdresser of the Year, now moving into some photography as well. Great to have him on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Mr. Kevin Luchmun.
Thank you very much, Simon. Thank you.
Good to have you.
How are you, Kevin?
Bro?
Yeah, I'm good. Just chilling. You know how it is. There's not much to do.
You're looking very trim, by the way. You're looking good.
Man, do you know what? Like, lockdown is just, that's all I'm just trying to focus on, really. It's just like my training, my fitness, my health, you know, because, I mean, as you guys were saying, you know, like obviously hairdressers and barbers in the UK all closed down, you know, and it's one of those ones, for my mental health and just to keep myself sane. Like, I just find that like with fitness and, you know, eating well and, you know, looking after myself, it's just doing me, you know, the world of good.
Wow, it's actually working, mate. I know he's led us into this full sense of security now, Kevin has. Because I'm going to ask him what's he drinking, and he's going to say water or something, isn't he now?
Yeah, it's a sparkling water.
You've let me down there, Kevin. You've let me down
so
there.
Do you know what? I was going to have a protein shake, but then I just thought, you know what? No, actually, I just yam that. But I don't drink now. I don't drink. So
What,
like when
not at all anymore.
No. So my whole fit, when I first started my fitness journey, like again back in, was it March 2019? I basically just knocked everything on the head. Like I literally just was like, right, I'm not going to drink. I'm just going to eat clean. Like obviously now, like I do have my cheat meals, and you know I'm a bit more laid back with what I eat. But I just knocked the drink on the head. I never was a massive drinker anyway, so.
I bet this is 3 meals to you then, isn't it? I better hide this.
I do like Guinness though. I've got to admit, I haven't had a Guinness in a long time, but Guinness is nice.
Even Mark Woolley a few weeks ago and Tim Avery, they were drinking quite a lot on the show actually. Mark sent me a message earlier. He's done me some beautiful art. Yeah. Mark, if you're watching tonight, thank you. I cannot wait to receive this piece of art that he's done for me. I tried to buy it off him. I'd seen he only does like one-off pieces. I sent him I DM'd him a message saying, I want to buy that. And then he came back and kindly said, it's for you. So I showed me a photograph of it tonight. I'm going to hopefully get that in next 2 weeks. So Mark, if you're watching, thanks very much. Kev, you've watched Barber's Arms. You've been a massive part of this industry and a massive part of the revolution in barbering. You know, you had that real swagger about you maybe 4 or 5 years ago when you didn't burst onto the scene, but you were always there, and you know, working with Tony and Guy, winning British Men's Hairdresser of the Year. So we're going to go through some questions about your career. We're going to dig a bit deep as well on some of these questions as well, mate. So it's always about what we want to ask you, but kind of we get a feeling of the industry, what they want me to ask you, and what Gaz wants to ask you as well. And then we'll finish off with some quick fire questions, which I've changed completely tonight. That's a brand new set of questions for you tonight, dedicating some new questions. My first question to you is, winning lots of things that you've done, what would you class as your biggest achievement so far in the industry?
So probably my biggest achievement, in regards to awards and competitions.
Just anything.
Well, I'd say in regards to probably in regards to like awards and competitions, it's, you know, by far probably the British Hairdressing Awards, and I guess probably the reason why is because I was so shocked to get into the final, but then obviously to go ahead and win it, that was just, you know, I remember that was back in 2013, you know, and it was like, I mean, that was kind of like more or less when like men's hairdressing and barbering was starting to really peak in the UK and globally as well. And yeah, it was just such a massive shock to me. And it's like like when I done that shoot and when I done the whole collection, that was all me, like obviously I was working with Tony and Guy, but like I sourced my photographer, I sourced my models, sourced the stylist, and sourced the whole idea behind the collection. And it was kind of like that sense of achievement, that all that hard work of cutting model sets for free, staying the late nights, networking with people, really paid off. And for me, I remember, like, I look back at the video, every now and then, and I see myself crying on it. Like, I can feel myself how teary I was. And yeah, it was just such an amazing, like, sensational moment, but yeah, just by far that, definitely that.
That's one thing I've learned, Gary, as well about Kevin, is that whilst he's very confident and he's one of the most accomplished presenters that I watch, you can just turn it on. And there's not a lot of people about, and where I'm like, I can't tolerate never has beens. When you watch Kev turns up, organised, prepared, bang, it goes on, and he's an accomplished presenter. One thing I've watched though over the years, Kevin, is you are an emotional kid as well. You are, when the hairs at the back of the neck stand up, I can hear it in your voice.
I
can see it sometimes, and I think it's good for our viewers to see some of that tonight. Some of the stuff I'm going to touch on tonight, again, maybe slightly emotional towards you, but we've got MK on next week, and I know I've heard Kevin a few times say when he was a young lad going around exhibitions watching the Wahl stages and how we pulled big audiences and watching Chris Foster and watching MK, he kind of looked at that. Am I right here, Kevin? I've heard you say this, and that's where you wanted to be.
Yeah, like my whole, like, like, it's my journey. Like, I mean, like, from what you said, like, I mean, you've hit the nail on the head. Like, it's like anything. When everyone sees me on stage, when everyone sees me on the shows and seminars I do, they always turn around and say, "Oh, bloody hell, you're so confident when you're on stage. You know exactly what you're going to say. You know exactly how you're going to do it. You're always prepared." And yeah, there is a side of me that is a very insecure, I wouldn't say very, but an insecure person. And I guess me being insecure, that's why I really just make sure that I put on a good show, because I'm always fearful of like what people think about me when I'm on stage. So, I always say, whenever you're on stage, you've got to really give it like 100%, like 110%. But not only that, I mean, as I before I went on stage as a solo artist, before I went on stage with Tony and Guy, I had to have a solid foundation. Like, I've been doing this for, like, obviously not as long as you guys, but I've been doing this for 19 years. And it was only until, like, I don't know, I guess 15 years in, that I really felt confident enough. And even when I first started with Tony and Guy and was on stage with Tony and Guy, like, the grilling I would get, but then it just made me a stronger person, And yeah, the side to me, what people don't know is, like, yeah, I can be quite emotional. Like, I can be emotional from an excited, happy point of view, but I can also be emotional from a sad point of view. But then I can also be emotional from an angry point. Like me and you, we've had some running before, And
do you know what I said in the production meeting, and I think I said to someone else, look, that I'm very, not intimidating, but I'm very, when people, they know when I'm in a room. I said that I admire this kid. We've had not a few run-ins, but we've had words in terms of sometimes where we've turned up at things, and if I don't like what you've said and you don't like what I've said, you say it to me, I say it to you, but we know where we stand.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, with me, like, I'm a very honest person, and it's like, and I guess, look, I mean, reflecting back, when I think about when I've had like run-ins with you, and we've had words, should we say, like, back then I was a younger version of myself, and how I would approach things now is completely different to how I would approach things back then. But I mean, as you know, it's kind of like, when you're a young kid, and there's things about me that I do kind of think to myself, oh, bloody hell, I wish I wasn't as an arrogant little prick as I was back then. There was stages back when I was, I'd say it happened to me after I won the British Hairdressing Awards. Probably the next few years after, I literally thought I was untouchable. Like, I kind of, and I don't mind saying that. And it wasn't me being arrogant, but I just thought, oh yeah, I'm the dog's bollocks. Yeah, everyone wants a piece of me. Everyone's giving me free clippers. Everyone, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's wanting me on shows and whatever else. And then I remember what set me back was when, I think it was the year after I entered the British Hairdressing Awards again, and I didn't even get through to the finalists. And that's when I was just like, oh shit, actually, like, and I remember like even like one of my friends saying like, oh, you know, you never, whenever we talk, you always talking about yourself, like all these models that you're with and where these clubs you're going to and whatever else. But yeah, it's you know, going back to like obviously talking about MK and Chris Foster, like these were, you know, I remember when I was at college, you know, going to Stanley International for like trips, seeing the wall stand, seeing the South, seeing how big they were, seeing MK on stage, Chris Foster on stage, like doing all designs. And, you know, my journey with barbering, I'd say properly actually started when I got a job with MK, like, because, and a lot of people don't know that, like I used to work with MK. I was with MK for like 3 years and taught me so much. And then it was after being with MK, then joined with Tony and Guy because I wanted to learn ladies hairdressing. So it's kind of like, you know, I have massive respect for everyone in the industry, you know, and it's kind of like, I know, I guess I've been in the industry long enough to know, like, okay, who are the real people to look up to and admire, and who are the wannabes and who are the, you know, one night stands. Do you get what I mean? Like, and I mean, as you know, there's a lot of them. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, because I've got hundreds of thousands of followers, like I'm the dog spoiled. No, that means shit. It's just a number.
I think that's you know, big of you to come out and say that, because not a lot of people say that, and not a lot of people would say that in front of 100,000 people, you know. So I think that's good to see, and it's you turned out being great. I think for all of us, it's a bit of a learning curve being on stage and doing everything else and dealing with what you have to. I'd just like to go on. We have Lee Resnick on the show, and he took you over to the States, asked you over and did. What do you think the perception is of the North Americans of British barbering? What do you what was your experience when you went over there?
You know, Lee, like I'm a very good friend with Lee as well, you know, from Barbershop Connect, for any of the guys that don't know who Lee is. And I have so much respect for him for the shows that he puts on, the production that goes into it, like his organizational skills. Like, it's just amazing. And the thing is with me, I love America so much. Like, I don't know whether it's because of the people, I don't know whether it's because of the atmosphere when I'm there, but in regards to barbering, it's a very, very different, it's a very different culture, like full stop. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously you see how the barbering culture is over in America when they do the shows like Barbershop Connect and CT Barber Show and things like that, and the other barber shows that they're completely different. Like, people will turn up. This is what I find in America. People will turn up, people will pay to turn up, and people will buy things. In England, people want to go somewhere where it's free, and people want the free giveaways. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, there's people that will buy equipment, but like, I just find with America, there's just so much love. And with Americans, I find as well, it's like they won't have a problem saying, oh yeah, you're really good on stage. Oh, you've done an amazing demonstration. I love what you do. I find with the English and in the UK, it's a bit like they stand back. They know that person's really good, but they won't say anything. Not to say that they need to say something to someone, but it's like very much looking from the background. They won't necessarily want to ask questions. But in America, it's like they'll be like, boom, ask as many questions as they want to ask, you know, because they want to receive a lot back, you know.
And I've always enjoyed it, Gaz. I mean, we've worked together, well, not together, but we've been in the same exhibition hall when we've been in Chicago at the ABS show or in New York. I work for an American company, so I kind of resonate with what Kev said there. And, you know, Lee does some, I know Lee's watching tonight or this afternoon where he is. I agree with everything you said. And I think, you know, you said something earlier there, you'd change things around. It's I can't believe you've saying what you say tonight. I was just on the phone before I came on tonight, and we were on about one-hit wonders. People have come in. I've been with Wahl 20 years, but I was doing stuff on stage before that. I've seen people come on the scene for 2 or 3 years, be the next big thing. You don't even hear from them now. Yeah. And, you know, you said something there, and, you know, when you've been in my area, it didn't matter what people had won. You all got, if I weren't happy, I'd say it. It didn't like, I'll bow down to you. You know, and again, from your point of view, it didn't matter who I were or global artistic director for Wahl. You'd say what you wanted to say, and that's where the respect comes. You know, you're not going to be one that's going to be a fucking pushover. Neither am I. We get on with it, and there's a respect there. So I really do. Everything you've said tonight, I completely agree with. We've just said, what's your biggest achievement? British Hairdresser Awards, winning that British Hairdressing title, Men's Hairdresser of the Year 2013. I think your name at that point within the industry was massive. and still is. You know, it's probably springboarded you into other things. Kevin, what would you say at the moment, you know, looking at your career, what would you look at back at that's probably a mistake that you've made or a part of your career that you'd like to change?
Nothing. Wouldn't change anything. There's a lot of things that I wish I'd done something a little bit different, or I wish I'd gone a different direction. But to be honest, you know, I'm sure a lot of people will say things like this, but it's like, it's everything I've done, like the mistakes that I've made, or the so-called mistakes that I've made, or the decisions that I've made that are wrong, I wouldn't be where I am now, like, because it's kind of like, you know, I always find like it's never a mistake. It's kind of like, you know, it's a learning curve more than anything. Like a story a lot of people don't know, and I don't mind sharing it with people, is that, because I think, again, it's quite nice to like understand that people might see me with my following, me traveling around the world, doing my bits and bobs, getting my studio and whatever else. But then there's been a lot of downs, like, you know, with this all. And it's like, even when I left Tony & Guy in 2017, the original plan was to actually open up a salon. I had this guy, he was a businessman, I was talking to him, he was an investor, he was going to invest in the business. So I left Tony & Guy with all intentions of opening up the barbershop and it was actually in Covent Garden. We sort of like had the shop all ready to go and all this and the other. Long story short, one of the investors pulled out, and he basically turned around and said, look, we get another investor, don't worry about it. I was going on holiday with my other half, went on holiday, got back, 1 week turn, didn't hear from him, 2 week turn, didn't hear from him, and still to this day, 3 years later, I haven't heard from him. So I left Tony & Guy with my position of like international art director, doing the men's course with all intentions to open the shop, to literally jack shit. And that's when I then had to very quickly think to myself, okay, right, I need to change shit. I need to do things. And then just sort of thought, you know what I'm good at doing is doing the education. Let me reach out to people internationally. And then, yeah, it's just taken me all over the world now. And then, yeah, it's just, you know, it's one of those ones. Yeah.
Well, do you know what? That was one of my next questions, really, is, you know, because obviously we know you, we know your brand, you know where you are, your social media, very savvy. And I was going to ask, how come, you know, you're not in a barbershop? But I know you've thrown yourself into education. I've looked around your studio. I haven't actually been down to you, but, you know, you've shown us around your studio in London, and it looks great, by the way. It's an absolute pleasure to say. But from an education point of view, how's lockdown changed you, how you're going to work? And obviously we can't do anything through lockdown. Obviously on online we can, but how's it changed your business model now? Is it something that's going to be changed forever, or are you going to try and pick up where you left off?
You know, Gary, I mean, I'm I'm kind of happy that you asked this question, because I think there's a lot of conversation of barbers, hairdressers, they can't cut hair, salons can't act, you know, but then they get given a date of when they can supposedly open, you know, the 12th of April, whenever it is. But for me, I haven't traveled since like March last year. My whole business model is traveling internationally and going to different countries and teaching. That is my business, like the main bulk of my business. I mean, I was fortunate enough in September, I went to Italy, I'd done a show over there, like a small little seminar there. But that was before the PCR test. That was before that I had to quarantine or anything like that. And obviously now it's, you know, it's just a big ball ache to like go on a plane and, you know, you're paying expense for like your PCR test. And if you have to quarantine, do you know what I mean? It's just a pain in the arse, and you end up losing more money than what you originally would quote to do the job. So in regards to how my business model changed massively. And I've got to admit, it was, I think March when it first happened in March, I was actually in Greece and I was to do a show, and I was there on the Sunday, and it was on the Sunday that the news in Greece basically announced that they're not allowed to put any big shows on. So then the show got cancelled on the Monday that I was supposed to do in Greece. So then I ended up coming home early. And then I was like, all right, okay, cool. And then the government in the UK announced lockdown. I thought, all right, couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, back to normal. 4 weeks turned, and then I was like, all right, okay, what's going on here? 5 weeks turned, and then I had so many jobs lined up last. I had like about, I can't remember, like 6 or 7 international jobs, like council, so like, you know, over 50 grand worth that I thought, oh my God, I'm going to make some like good money. And I was just like, shit. And then I guess it got to the stage where it was like, all right, let me just enjoy this with my family. It's blessed, you know, I get to see my boy, I get to see my wife. And then it got to around sort of like end of May, and I was like, right, when is things going to get back to normal? And then it was actually the end of May that I decided, right, okay, I've always wanted a studio. I've always wanted somewhere where I can work out of, do my photo shoots, do my education, whether it's online or in-house. So then I started figuring out, okay, what can I do with the money I've got? Let me invest it into myself. Started working on more online education. And then I got the studio, and then it was good because the studios actually opened up the same time that all the country opened up in July last year. So then in regards to like how the business model's changed, I mean, I say I'm so grateful that I kind of learned the photography, I learned about video, I learned production, because even though I still do education, like I get a lot of work doing photography, especially with like British Hairdressing Award shoots, you know, L'Oreal shoots, Weller shoots, and different salons wanting to create collections because that's what I do, you know, and that's what I've done. And I guess the good thing is that a lot of my collections are winning collections, you know, like I've won collections for myself last year, like I shot for London British Hairdressing Awards, that last year. So it's like, you know, the level of my work is to a standard that people want to work with. So it's great that I've got the studios in London. I can shoot from there now. And but yeah, I mean, I'm doing bits and bobs of online education and, you know, stuff for certain clients, but it's just not the same. I'm not going to say it's boring because it's good. Don't get me wrong, but I just miss the buzz of like seeing people. You know, if I'm doing something live to people, it's either on a Facebook Live or a Zoom, and all I see is myself. And it's like, it's so weird. You know, I'm in my studio with my camera looking at me, all the lighting set up. And I don't get the nodding heads. I don't get the smiles. I don't get like the eye contact, you know, it's weird, you know.
Kevin, though, you've just said same as, you know, I've not travelled since. I was very lucky 2020. I did America, Dubai and Spain. And I got back from Spain, I think, the last weekend in February. Not done any travelling since. Whenever we went back on 4th of July, I didn't go back. Whenever we went back on 2nd of December, my job, I didn't go back. Whenever he goes back on 12th of April, I ain't going, you know, my job's not going to level out till probably August, September.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be nearly 2 years before I've travelled. And, you know, Gary, what I've had to do is it's like you have to manage your own expectations. And you're right what you say. I put the screen on, the multi-screen on, though. So if I'm on a Zoom, I want to see everybody's, and I like put all your mutes on. But when I'm talking, I'm like, give me a thumbs up. You all like it. You can see them laughing. But it's probably 10% of what you used to working. Do you know what I mean? It's just a tough one. Kevin, quick question though. You probably answered it. Let's say I'm an investor, and I said, right, Kev, there's 100 grand there tomorrow. Would you open a photo studio or a barbershop?
Nothing. I'll invest in cryptocurrency. No, I'm joking. That's a good question, actually.
Just because I think the viewers watching know that you do a lot of photography, and you do obviously your barbering and your academy. But what would you really want to invest this money into? Where do you see? I guess probably the next step would probably be like actually like a barbershop and get a team of people to work for me. Do you know what I mean? Like, well, not for me, alongside me, should I say? I don't like people working for me, like alongside me. And I guess the reason why is because I've been in this industry, like I said, like 19 years, and I've just always been like, I've always been independent. Like everything I do myself, I do my photography, I do my own branding, I do my website, I do my online education, I do my video, I do my edits. Like I literally do everything myself. And it's kind of like, you know what it's like, in order to grow, you need a team of people, isn't it? You know, so it's kind of like, probably a barbershop. Probably a barbershop. Well, we're going to put up for everybody.
You're going to give me 100 grand then?
You what, sorry?
You're going to give me 100 grand then?
We'll talk about it. For everybody watching, Kevin's Instagram account's coming up on your screens for you that's watching tonight live, or if you're watching on Saturday afternoon or Sunday mornings. I know a lot of people watch it on a Sunday morning, sat there watching it. Kevin's Instagram account's coming up, so you can find out a little bit how to get in touch with him. Fantastic photography, fantastic education. There's his Instagram on the screens now, guys, if you want to reach out and speak to Kevin. Gary, before I ask my next question, you've got a little game for Kevin to play, which is part of our show.
So we're going to lead into rant or rave. So production there.
Spin the wheel.
So we are going to give you a little intro to it, Kevin. I don't know if you've seen it before, but other guests have had it. You can have 2 minutes to rant or rave about a particular subject. We don't know what it is. They're spinning the wheel as we speak, and it's going to spin up, and your subject is going to be TikTok. That's a new one.
TikTok.
So you've got 2 minutes to rant or rave about TikTok, Mr. Kevin Luchmun.
I think TikTok's good. Don't get me wrong. I think TikTok's good, but I just see so much fake TikTok. Like, and there's so much bullshit TikTok in the sense there's so many people that would just do shit just to kind of get famous. They just want that like. And I've even seen people on TikTok who I know personally. I'm just like, bro, you don't even talk like that. Like, you're literally so fake right now. The plus side to TikTok, I think it's good for the younger generation. I think it's good just to like, it's like, you know, if you've got nothing to do and you want to kill like 10 minutes, like on the train or something like that, like it's just, you can just flick and just scroll through TikTok. I think sometimes you can get a bit lost on it, but I just don't, like, I guess from me as an educator, I just don't, like, for me, I'm like, I want whatever I'm looking at, whether it's like a YouTube clip, watching listening to a podcast, watching something, I want to feel enlightened after I've watched that. But like with TikTok, a lot of it is just bullshit to me anyway. Like, there is some stuff in there. I think at the moment, actually, do you know what I saw trending on TikTok? Have you seen those baked oats?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some, and do you know what, to be honest with you, like watching that, like there's actually some really cool recipes, and it's like literally cut down on 30 seconds. And I was watching one the other day and I was like, oh, okay, I'll try that. So things like that, like I'm like, I don't mind, but like, I don't know, people like, I don't know, just doing stupid shit and dancing and stuff like that. I'm just like, really? I'm like, it's not for me. That side of it's not. But then that's for the younger generation. Do you know what I mean?
You're showing your age now, mate. You're showing your age. Yeah, before we go into the quick fire questions, I know Gaz is gearing up as well for his cocktail. Gary, it's your 45th cocktail. You've done a different. I just want to say this to everybody who watches, and thanks again to the 90,000 who watched that last week. This guy has done, this will be his 45th different cocktail. I don't know how he does it. He's amazing. And they all look lush. You know, if Tom Cruise is out there looking for, we watched Coming to America 2, there's got to be a new cocktail film. Guys, you're prime for this, mate. Once you sort your fucking image out and your stupid tash, you'll be on that film. Kevin, my question to you, and it's a little bit deep, this, mate. This last year, we saw the passing of Sam, one of your good mates. It is all by the blind side. And I think, you know, I've had questions said to me this week about you coming on the show and to ask this question, because anybody who tuned into the funeral, watched your very, very emotional speech at the funeral, mate. I really felt it. I was sobbing when I watched it. And I'm getting emotional now, even speaking about it. Just to let everybody know, how have you coped with that, mate, since it's in lockdown? How have you coped with that, getting through that period?
I wouldn't say coped. I'd say coping. It's hard, you know. Like I don't know. Like it's weird, isn't it? Like it's kind of like I don't know. I kind of feel like Sam's still there. Sometimes I feel like he's just gone on holiday. Sometimes I feel like he's just, I don't know, gone to America on a show or something like that, you know, and I've just not gone with him. And, you know, I think about him daily. Like, honestly, I do. Like, you know, I know a lot of people say things like that, but like in my studio, like I've got like a little picture of like myself and Sam. But like, I see him every day. And, you know, going back to fitness, that's the one thing that really just kind of keeps me focused and keeps me just kind of gets my thoughts, and if I'm feeling a bit sad or down, like I just try and think of the positive things. I try and think about the funny moments that we've had. I just try and think about the dumb things that he used to do. But it's hard, man. It's hard, like, especially when it's coming from someone that you're so close with, and you never really had like a real, I don't know, like a real understanding what was really going on through his head, so it's like that's the difficult and upsetting thing about it. But like, I mean, Simon, like, me, like, and a lot of people that know me, like, I try and remain a very positive person, but there's times, and there have been times where I've literally broken down, like, to my other half, like, I've broken down to myself. I'm just angry, and it's like, I don't know, like, sometimes talk to people and they're like, oh yeah, maybe you need to go and see someone, and I'm like, yeah, maybe, but then it's, I don't know, it's talking helps. Talking helps a lot.
Well, look, mate, I hope you don't mind me asking the question. I think a lot of people out there knew how close you were with him. People who tuned into the funeral saw your heartrending tribute to Sam. It was tough, mate. It was tough. And I've been concerned, I'm not one of these that's going to phone you up falsely. I sent you a message straight away. Yeah. I have thought about you because I know how close you were with him. But a lot of people said to me this week, can you just ask him how he is and how he's coping with the situation? And I've had to ask that question.
It's tough. Like, it's tough. Like, but you know what? Like, it's that kind of realization that everything that however many times I spent with him and everything that we've done and all the good times that we had, that's all in my head. Do you know what I mean? And that's all I always remember. Like, it's remembering the good times and that he is still around and he's looking down on us. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I try not to, I don't know, it's just it's a weird one because, like I said, one part of me is like, oh no, he's still there. Another part of me is like, fucking hell, like, he's gone. Like,
I know, man.
He's not coming back,
I know. Listen, well, I had to ask the question. I am concerned about you as an individual as well, where you've handled it. And I think if he is looking down, he'll always be proud of you as an individual, and I'm sure you're going to continue to smash it. We'll have to talk about that 100 grand though. I've had two Desperados, so it might have gone to my head, but it was a question that was in there. But anybody who does, I think Kevin's a great one to reach out. Anybody who sometimes suffers with a bit of like worry or mental health, people like Kevin Luchmun, if you reach out to him on Instagram and speak to him about anything like that or things, I'm sure he can help you as well. In those times. Kev, we do some quick fire questions at the end. I've changed these, Gary. This is the first time I've done this lot. I know you're getting your cocktail ready, but it's the first time I've done these kind of questions. First time on Barbers Arms. So let's see how it goes. We'll do a quick fire question. Kevin, cats or dogs?
Cats.
Weirdo. Night in or night out?
In. Night in, all day long.
I'm same as you. You're showing your age though, mate. Beer or wine?
Neither. The or.
Water. Yeah. In Chinese or Indian? Food.
It depends what mood I'm in, but I'll probably steer towards Indian if I had to choose one.
Just for everybody who are watching there, we're talking about food at that point, just to fucking clear that up straight away. These questions are going a bit strange. Ooh, next question. Tony and Guy, or just working on your own?
Working on my own.
And Salon International or Barber Connect?
Well, Barber Connect, what, US or?
No, Barber Connect. Would you like to go to Salon International or Barber Connect? If you're going to choose one or the other, which one would you choose?
Are you talking about Barber Connect in the UK, right?
Yeah, the one up in Telford.
Salon International, isn't it?
It is, mate.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that show. And it's Salon International still going ahead. We are at Wahl. We've had meetings with Jane. 16th of October. It's still in the diary. Hopefully, fingers crossed, all vaccinations. We had Kevin Luchmun, who has talked very honest and open tonight. Great interview, Kev. If he's having to choose between cats and dogs, he'd love to have cats on a night in. He don't like his nights out. He prefers a nights in. And if he's doing that, he's going to be having steering towards an Indian food, and he'll be having all this with a glass of water in his new regime of not drinking alcohol. for the last 2 years. If he had to choose between Tony and Guy or working for himself, he's going to work for himself. He's an international star on his own. Fair play to him. And if he were going to an exhibition, if it were Barber Connect or Salon International, of course, he wants to be at Salon International, where the thousands can watch him do his stuff. Kev, pleasure to have you on the show, mate. You're a very honest kid. You deserve to be where you are, and I wish you all the very best for the future. I'll be in touch over the next couple of weeks anyway with that talk about that 100 grand investment that I'm going to borrow off Gary. He's got lots. But Kevin,
cool.
Have a nice weekend,
Fantastic.
pal.
Thank you very much, Gary and Simon. Take care, guys. See you later.
Yeah. See you later, Kev. Great to see you.
Take care. Bye.
I'm drained a little bit. That was
do you know what? I mean, I hope you know that you could only hope for the support and love that's been given to. I mean, you know, we've lost a couple in the recent months, but it fills your heart with warmth, doesn't it? When you get people on, and it affects them like that anyway, because and all the monies that's been raised. I mean, Movember and you know, all the guys that have run for Sam. I mean, it's literally become the Sam Wahl Fund, really. But it's a hard one when you see a guy like that so full of life, and then something happens. You know, it's unexplainable. And
there's no bullshit with him though. He was one of his closest mates.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I knew how he were. You know, the weeks after that, spoke to him a couple of times just by messages. But he looks great. He's obviously he's feeling that. You can tell it with him though. You know, we spoke earlier. A couple of barbers have announced today that they've packed in hairdressing and barbering. And, you know, my thoughts go out to you guys. You know who you are, especially Daz. You know, hope you come back, pal. You're a great character in this industry. And I hope you get yourself sorted out and you can make it back into this fantastic industry, because you're a fantastic part of it. Kev's one of them as well. You can tell that lockdowns have hit him a little bit. You know, I don't know what.
To be honest, I think we're all victims. I think we're all victims, aren't we?
Yeah.
You froze. I think you froze there, or did I freeze there?
I'm not sure. You look like you froze.
All right. I'm just saying. I think all of us we've all been victims in one way or another, whether it be just the way we feel, the way we go. You know, it's affected everybody in different ways. Am I back?
I don't know. I keep saying that everybody's telling me that you're frozen, but you look all right to me, pal. Yes, you wish. Gary, anyway, let's move on. Well done, Kev. Great interview. Good luck with everything that's happening with you, mate. Award-winning barber and hairdresser Kevin Luchmun joining us on Barbers Arms. Very good interview, very honest and very open. We've got Dale Hince coming up very, very shortly, joining us in the house. The new breed of barbers coming into the industry, only 12 years into it. Dale's going to tell us about his career and where he is at the moment in lockdown. He's based in Shrewsbury, Hince's. But before that, for me, Gary, at my age, it's toilet break. And for you, it is your 45th cocktail. What's happening?
On that, thank you very much, Simon. So we are week 11, day 73, number 45 on the cocktail scale. So what we're going to do today, I mean, we could have gone with Mother's Day. We could have gone with a few different cocktails of the day. You know, Mother's Day is coming up on Sunday, but I thought we couldn't go and do a show without celebrating Paddy's Day. It always amazes me, and I've been talking to a good friend of ours, Johnny King, in the week. Wherever you go in the world, there's an Irish bar in there. So I've got to do a homage to the Irish. Been drinking Guinness tonight, so we're doing a Tipperary, and this is particularly typically a famous one or a favourite one of mine as well, because I've got some good friends in my local pub who originate from Tipperary. Turles in Southern Ireland, Tipperary. I saw my first hurling match there So it's a bit of a homage to St. Patrick and Jameson whiskey. So we've got Jameson today. So we're using some ice. And we're not shaking tonight. We're just using some ice in there. Straight in. We've got our jigger. So we've got a 25 ml and a 50 ml. So our jigger here is 50 ml of Jameson's. As you can see, it doesn't matter if you go over a little bit. So, and we've got another classic ingredient, Martini Rosso. So we've got, which is sweet vermouth. So vermouth, if everybody's eats fortified wine, really, vermouth is, you can get it in dry, sweet. Bianco, I mean, Martini is a trade name, so, but it is any sweet vermouth you can use. So we're using 25 or 20 ml of sweet vermouth. That goes in. That one goes there. And to finish off, and I don't know if anybody's used this or tried this, but and I couldn't get a full bottle. I couldn't get a large bottle of it. So I've got a few miniatures. So this is green chartreuse. This is, and our production team, Trevor in Australia has had some really bad memories on this. So we've got about 10 or 12, 15, we'll have a little bit more. So we have green chartreuse in there, that goes in. And then we're gonna stir this. So we just stir it, we're not shaking it. It's over ice, so all we're doing is getting the ice into the mixture just so we can cool everything down. We've got a cool glass, so we've got our coupe glass. And to finish off, we need a fine strainer, so we're just going to strain this off.
Looks nice.
So there we have it strained. We should have some, and these are Angostura bitters. So we have one spot of that and some orange bitters as well. We're just going to give 1, 2, 3 of those. So that's gone in, and then we're going to finish it off with a cherry. So we're using our usual, let me just get one. Should have got this on the stick before I started. So our Mascherano cherries just go in the bottom there. There we have it, our Tipperary cocktail to the look of the Irish. And this is to my good friends in Ireland, all in and around Ireland, Northern Ireland, but especially to Mr. Johnny King. Good health, sir. All the very best.
I've never had a cocktail in Ireland, though. It's always Guinness.
Wow. That's beautiful. Why would you have a cocktail when you've got draft Guinness? There's nowhere better draft Guinness in Ireland, is there?
I've been some places as well where they do the put the clover freehand as they're pulling the Guinness, to put the clover on the top, which is amazing. Good luck to all our colleagues as well. Obviously, you've not got a date yet, but we're hoping that you get your date very soon, and you know, you get your date and you can get some clarity on when you're going to go back as well. So hopefully that comes in the next few weeks. Coming up on Barbers Arms, very shortly, we're going to have Dale Hince coming into Barbers Arms. Gaz has just joined us back as well. You keep slipping away, Gaz.
I know. I don't know what's happening. We do everything the same. We were talking about this earlier on. Zoom's been very temperamental tonight. You couldn't log on at the start, and I keep disappearing. But I think it's Zoom's just playing up tonight, I think.
Yeah. It's raining in Barnsley.
Production keeps asking me if I've changed my Wi-Fi, and I'm like, well, I haven't got a new Wi-Fi provider in between times. No. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear, Rubber Duck.
No, but you know what? Do you know what actually amazes me is, and only the Irish could do this. I mean, we're in the middle of Lent, and the Irish have St. Patrick's Day right in the middle of Lent, and everybody gets slaughtered all around the world. I mean, there's an irony in that, if nothing else, isn't there? I mean,
have you given anything up for Lent, Gaz?
What do you think?
I know it's hard, isn't it?
I've stopped getting dressed in the morning till 12.
No, you haven't.
No, I know you shouldn't belittle it or anything, but no, I've got no willpower whatsoever, other than going to work and doing what I know I can do. You know me, I'm very easily led. So, have you given anything up?
No, same as you. Willpower's been a tough one. I fluctuate with my weight. I'm at my heaviest at the minute, but everybody around me's telling me, you know, you need to get back onto it. And I think a lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're going to have a busy summer when everything's going to be back to normal." Everybody's trying to get fit. The only thing I've done is I spent 2.5 hours at the dentist yesterday. I've got some new pasties coming at the back. Thanks to Holly Bukes. He's an amazing dentist, my dentist. I've got a bruise on my lip though. I was in there for about 2 hours yesterday.
Do you know what? I think they start calling you Ryland. I think they are quite a bit. Got a full set of gnashes now. I think he looks good.
I will do like some back ones next week. I'll have a full set of gnashes, and I can't wait. Like everybody else, somebody said to me, I said I just can't wait to go to my local barber and have my beard lined in and your eyebrows done, and just pamper yourself a little bit. Some ultraviolet sun rays and get back to some normality. But anyway, let's move on. A very honest interview by Kevin Luchmun. We've got a new barber, just starting his award-winning career, and he's been in the industry 12 years, but he's one of the new kids on the block. I think we're in. He's just joined us in the car park. He's just about to join us live on Barbers Arms. Without further ado, please welcome if you can just turn your camera around, Dale, as well, so we can see you. You're on an angle at the minute. Just turn him around. We've got Dale Hince joining us on Barbers Arms for the first time. You spin your camera around, Dale. Oh, there we go. There we go. A bit more central. Yes, we've got you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on Barbers Arms for the first time from Shrewsbury, the award-winning Mr. Dale Hince.
Hello, mate. You okay?
Very well, pal. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Sorry, I couldn't get the audio to work then for a second. I was panicking.
Dale, you are not the first, and you will not be the last to do that. So we'll forgive you, mate. That's no problem.
Hey,
welcome to the show, Dale. It's a pleasure having you on.
Hey, what do you think to my bar?
Yeah, it's good. Is that your bar at home?
Yeah, of course it is.
What are you drinking?
Oh, let down. Coke.
Oh,
I've zipped the shop, so I didn't want to drink.
Advertisement there for Coca-Cola.
I'll just give you my advert for.
Well, I think we've got lots of people at Barbers Arms with the views that we have that are different breweries and what one sponsors. So we've given Newcastle Brown and Coca-Cola. We do endorse other brands as well at the moment. So we're going to sponsor coming on. So Pepsi Cola and some different IPAs are always an alternative to what the guys are drinking. Dale, I spoke to you the other day. You were as a finalist in the Wahl British Barber of the Year this year. First time you've entered and got through to the final. So congratulations. We've just had Kevin Luchmun on, who's been in the industry 19 years, big name in the industry. Throughout Barbers Arms, we have some of the top names in the industry. I class you as one of the new breed, this new up-and-coming breed of barbers. My first question to you will be, you've been in the industry 12 years, is that right?
That's right, mate. Yeah.
We've spoke this week about, we're going to talk about what you've been doing in lockdown, because I know you've took a new venture on and you've been doing some volunteering work. But my first question is, who do you look at as you came into the industry? Who do you look at as the old school barbers that you've looked up to, that inspire you, that made you wanted to go into competitions or made you want to do stage work? Who have you looked up to in your career?
I think for me, my first, obviously, like you know, I've been cutting hair for a long time now, but barbering on its own has only been possibly 3 years now. So I just jumped straight into the shows, mingled in, and took bits that I wanted from everybody, really. I'll be honest, the most relatable barber for me personally when I opened up was Ryan Cullen. Simply the shape that he creates, the way he cuts, the way he portrays himself, it was just very attractive to me. And I believe he's got a hairdressing background too, so perhaps he was very relatable.
Good.
Do you know what? I think this is kind of a. Just give us an idea. How and when did you get into barbering? But as well, hairdressing wise, you said I take it you trained as a hairdresser first, because this is something that's we've got this coming up. Quite a few people on the show have had a hairdressing background and then coming into barbering. One question first, just give us a quick roundup of how you got into hairdressing and then why you changed over to gents.
Barbering. I think I got into it the way everyone gets into it, really, and that's just dragging your mates into your mum's utility or your mum's dining room, cutting their hair. I was starting to pull hair through the cap to highlight people's hair, and the lads in the village were like, "Dale, could you do it tonight? Could you do it tomorrow?" Yeah, it just kind of lifted off from there, really. At the time, both my aunties were hairdressers. It's something that I'd never looked into, if I'm completely honest. I was actually doing electrical installation from school. So 12 years ago, I think it probably was a case of I didn't want to be people thinking, obviously that stereotypical type male in the hairdressing industry kind of put me off. So yeah, the transition to barbering, I think it was, obviously, don't get me wrong, ladies' hair is very intricate and it's very detailed as well, but as I was doing so many ladies, I think the men's were very limited in the salon. I could only fit probably maybe 1 or 2 a day. And I think it was something that I wasn't great at, so I wanted to make it another, a strength, if that makes sense. And then I just kind of developed and fell in love with it from there, really.
So is Hince's an hairdressing salon or is it a barbershop?
It's a barbershop, mate, but I wouldn't turn away anybody, really, to be honest. It's funny because going from the hairdresser to a barber, I had this big thing about being, this manly barbershop, all these visions of what I wanted, and I kind of closed the doors on hairdressing completely. And then as you guys have just said to me, it's very much, you're finding out a lot of these younger barbers are hairdressers to barbers. And I think now, not just now, maybe a couple of years ago, I think my brain started to think differently, and I've started to bring back in, I've started doing a bit of colouring work. I don't know why I shut the door on it so much. I'm not sure what it was really, but yeah, I'm starting to bring a bit more in. I do a lot of short-haired women, and I'm open to colour hair, whenever they need it, really. I just need to get a backwash in the shop, because this shop, I'm catering for four of us now, so the plan is to expand and hopefully get a bigger shop and some basins in there.
And for all our viewers, you're based in Shrewsbury.
That's it, mate. Yeah, Shrewsbury, just in the West Midlands, right in the heart of town.
That's nice. Dale, we spoke this week. Tell everybody about something that you've took up while you're doing in lockdown. You've started doing something else though, haven't you, while you're in lockdown as well? Tell us. Yeah, so the truth is, it was just getting on top of me. I couldn't hack being at home. Like, it was just, what it's like when you're constantly busy. Your brain's always thinking, you want to do the next steps, you want your business to grow, etc., etc.
So it just got too much. I had to do something. About 3 weeks ago, I helped a mate on site, actually on a building site, clad in a house, which was a bit of a cold experience, should I say. It was snowing, it was -1.5. I was thinking, bloody get me off here. So yeah, I was really grateful for that. And then a week after, I went and helped at a bike factory who make components for handlebars, like pedals and things like that. So again, that was really cool because I got to delve into somebody else's industry. And do you know what was really lovely about that, actually? To see their passion for their industry. You know, the guy's got a really, really successful business. That was really, really cool. And then thirdly, I managed to get a job full-time this time. I got 2 weeks work at the Shrewsbury Sixth Form College, which is just in town. And we are doing the step-by-step process for registering students for COVID. Because obviously they're back. I think it will be another week and they're back into schools and colleges. So yeah, that's been busy, mate, to be honest. It's actually been really, really good. Really, really good.
Funny story, Gary. He told me that he's obviously doing the testings for COVID and stuff, but watching guys coming in with different haircuts and they've trimmed the sides and they've got
the mullet.
He's been giving his business cards out. So I think, from every, it's not where you want to be, but I think from everywhere, as an entrepreneur, you've thought, hang on a minute here, if they're coming in for the tests, here you go. I like where your hair's working. There's a card there when you're ready and we're back open. Because Shrewsbury's the UK. It's not Welsh, is it? Shrewsbury's in the UK. Just on the borders, isn't it? Literally,
mate. Yeah, it's probably 14 miles, something like that.
Simon, we're all in the UK. I think you mean, is he in England?
Yeah, is he in England? Yeah, he's on really on the boundaries there of free prescriptions and getting back on the 15th, but unfortunately he's 12 miles away. So he will be paying for his prescriptions and he will be opening up on the 12th of April. Dale, I'm going to talk about the Wahl Barber of the Year. You was in the final this year, first time you were on, obviously. You tuned in. Yeah. You tuned in that day on November. I've been doing these team talks. People said to me, what happened this year? Obviously, you weren't at Salon International. How was it done? I have to say that the story about how we filmed it the day before, we filmed it live on the day, me and Sam Campagna, the cameramen, the light people, the sound people. It was really different for us. How was it for you guys at home, not being in a big arena? How was the atmosphere at home that 10 minutes before it was announced?
To be honest, mate, I had half my family round. So for me, it was actually really, really good. They were down, I had to take myself off. I was like, I can't be in the same room. I've got to take myself upstairs. I did the Zoom call with yourself and the other guys. And I heard my mum downstairs, my girlfriend, and some of my family were down there. So yeah, it was genuinely, it was actually really good. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't being at the competitions, being at all the shows and watching it, and you think, that's my dream. To be up there, that's where I want to be. I want to be in the spotlight. I want to, inspire other people. But it'll come again. I'm not going to stop there. So,
mate, you've got to enter again for next year because Garay Kesman, he's entered the last 2 years.
He does, bless him.
Garay was, we had him on a couple of weeks ago. He was very close this year, even closer than what he was on the live stage. So I would always say to people, don't be put off by it. Enter again next year because you already got to the final, and there's a certain quality about what we're looking for. Gary won one of the judges. So you can blame Gary for not winning because he was one of the judges.
Dale, I knew he was going to put that on me straight away. Then
he's going to drop it on you.
Yeah. So, mate, your work was great. Obviously, it was a team effort that the judges were there, but you've got a great attitude of coming back and doing it again.
Yeah,
and you want your minutes on stage as well, and I'm sure. From a Wahl perspective, I'm sure they'll have all last year's guys and give you your minutes on stage anyway for the next show because Salon International will definitely be there, and hopefully you'll be there. Hopefully you'll be there as another finalist anyway. So
yeah.
But Just quickly going back to what we were talking to, and I don't want to detract from Simon's questions, but we've heard a few people coming out of the trade. Everybody's really struggling. The situation being as it is. Is there any time in this lockdown? I mean, I'm in the same boat as you. I still run a column. We still do a lot of education. We've got a lot of location. And, you know, it's affected me this year, this lockdown 3 more than anything. Was there ever a time then you thought, do you know what, I am just done, I'm sick of this? Did any of that ever cross your mind? Or have you ever had any moments there where you were so low and you thought, I'm going to get out of the trade or anything like that? Or how's it going to affect you going forward now?
As much as I hate to admit this to you, if I'm going to be truthful, the answer is yes. And that's something that I never, ever, ever thought that I'd think, to be honest. I was annoyed with myself for thinking those thoughts. But like you said, it was just getting tougher, and it was tougher. And we absolutely thrive. We stand behind this chair. We run a busy column. I think for me now, when I go to the COVID centre and I help out there with the students and stuff, I think 70% of it is just that interaction with people. It's that little laugh or that little comment or, you know, good morning, buddy. It's that sort of uplifting spirit that you need just to keep you going. Our shop's we have, the banter is just silly in here. Like, the place vibrates with laughter sometimes. So I think that was the biggest part.
You're very social.
Yeah, I rely on it.
I think everybody's been saying, you know, as I said, I think, you know, this week's show in particular, there's been a few casualties this week in terms of people who've put out on Facebook that for the time being, they've packed in hairdressing and barbering. It's sad because the characters, we need them. We need these strong people in, you know, and that's why Gaz has asked you that question as well, because I think people are finding it tough. But what we have to say is that you're only about 4 weeks away now from getting back.
I can't wait.
You know, can't wait. Wales are back on Monday. Great. Good luck to everybody in Wales. And, you know, hopefully you guys at Hince's in Shrewsbury on the 12th of April, you'll be back fully charged and fully ready.
I think, like for me now, I've actually nipped to the shop to do this Zoom meeting because my little girl's struggling to go to bed. And I was like, I can't be in the room next door because it's going to be carnage. So I've come back in here. I haven't been here for weeks on end. And I think you just look around and you get that feeling. You think, I think what it is I don't forget what it's like when it's buzzing, but you just miss it and you lack it that much. It's not at the forefront of your mind. So now I'm in here and I can smell it and I can just feel it again. And to think we're only like 4 weeks away.
I think from a trade point of view, the reason we are the people we are within the trade is for all those reasons, though, isn't it? We need other people, don't we?
Definitely.
You know, I take my hat off to anybody who works alone. You know, all these guys who, you know, do a great job running stuff, lorry drivers, but people who are isolated in the job, you know, I just couldn't do it. You know, I need that interaction people take, you know, they take these choices and they get you. I suppose you get used to doing what you do, but working in a team, it's the best thing in the world. And working with a young people, I love it. You know, they keep you young, and you know, I love that interaction, like you say. But I think the reason we go into the trade or we're drawn to the trade is because we're that sort of people, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah. You know when you do that haircut and you finish and you show them in the mirror, you can just see it in their face. And I look over at the lads and I say, lads, I said, look at this. I'm not being cocky, but I'm just so proud of it. I just want to show them what I've done. And then when they lift me up, I lift them up, and the client feels amazing. And it's just an absolute buzz in the shop.
We're in the game, mate, of making people feel good. I always say to people on a motivational talk, especially from a salon point of view, you have to make people feel like you're ready to go out that night. You know, if it's your Christmas party and you're getting ready, you've got your new clobber on, you've got the coffee, you're going out with your mates, you can't wait. That's how people need to feel when they leave your shop. They're ready for a night out. Their hair looks the best it's ever looked. And so I resonate with what you've just said there. Dale, we're going to finish off with some quick fire questions.
Oh,
we
well,
don't
go
do
on.
on Barbers Arms. We changed a bit for Kevin, but we're going to give you the original questions here. So our viewers, whether you're watching tonight, everybody, or if you're watching tomorrow or Sunday or Monday afternoon, wherever your time is to watch Barbers Arms, me and Gary, thank you in your thousands that watch us every single week.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
So first of all, Dale, what's your favourite food?
Curry.
We'll do it in West Midlands as well. You get some beauties there. What's your favourite drink?
Oh, mate. I'm just go cider.
I like cider, Gaz. You had some
The
cider.
summer, nice fruity summer cider.
Yeah, Gaz likes cider as well, don't you?
When I've run out of everything else.
Whatever.
left in the cupboard.
Trevor. He likes 5 or 6 cans just as an aperitif, just to get him into the mood. They're a nice welcome into it. What's your favourite music, Dale?
To be honest, mate, I am very open to anything. Whatever makes me feel bloody good.
What would be your go-to playlist, or what would be your go-to, like, pick me up, get me motivated? Car, what would you want to put through your ears just before to get yourself really motivated?
Crikey. Right now, it's that song that's Boasty.
It's what?
Boasty. I can't think of who sings it, but it's the car. It's literally, I drove home to it tonight, so I was like, boom. There you go.
Boasty.
I'm not going to sing it to you.
Well, I think
Go
our viewers
on.
might want. I think our viewers might want you to sing it to us. What's your favourite destination? Where do you love to go? What's the favourite place you visit?
So I've been to Thailand, so that's got to be my number one. And we were booked for Florida, which got cancelled because of COVID, but we're still going. So I'm absolutely buzzing to go there.
It's beautiful as well, by the way. And who would be your ideal dinner date? Who would you like to have one night with, where you can have a dinner, meal, chat, talk? Who would be your ideal dinner date?
I'm gonna have to be a sheep, mate, and just say David Beckham.
It's a good one.
Hey,
That's
the first one on Barbers Arms, to be fair. We get most people are like, oh, it's my missus or whatever.
Yeah.
David Beckham.
I'm straight in there.
Fantastic evening. Guys, episode 45, Barbers Arms. It is the 12th of April. We're in lockdown 3. We had some great guests on tonight, but we finished it off with Dale Hince from Hince's in Shrewsbury, one of the up-and-coming barbers. He's having his favourite food, which is his curry. He's having a cider with his curry. He's listening to both
Chocolate Freddo.
Favorite soundtrack at Mini. His favourite destination where he's doing all of this will be in Thailand. And he's having all of this with an unbelievable, one of the best English footballers, one of the best number 7s at Man United ever. The one and only Mr. David Beckham. Dale Hince, congratulations. All the best with your career, bro. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you, buddy. Take care, you guys.
All the best, Dale. Have a fantastic one, mate.
Cheers, Gary. Thank you, mate.
Oh, nice, Gaz.
You know what a lovely well, I feel like I know him already. Anyway, I've watched his video that many times.
Yeah, he was good. He was good. His entry was good. He deserved to get in top 6. Obviously, it went the way it went. But he's one of them for the future. He's 12 years into the industry, 3 years into barbering. He's up and coming. His work's refreshing. He adds colour into his work. He's obviously he's eye candy. He looks good. So
he's got his little M&M going on, so he can sell his bleach as well if he wants to. So
sell his bleach as well, yeah. So no, I thought he's a great guest on Barbers Arms, and he's good. I thought both him and Kevin tonight. I'm getting lots of messages saying from Kevin's interview, what an honest interview. The Sam Wahl bit, about the photography part of it, being let down by business opportunities in London, bouncing back. Well done, Kev. You've come over really well on your interview tonight, and then I think Dale coming into it as well. I thought he's a breath of fresh air, and he's one to watch for the industry. Great to have him on Barbers Arms. We can look back at these Barbers Arms in 5 years' time. Some people, You know, I was speaking to college lecturers today, and I said to them, you know, if you're still in the industry in like 5 years' time, and somebody says, what were it like in lockdown? Well, go back to Barbers Arms at any episode, and you can see some of the industry's top people, and they'll tell you how lockdown was, lockdown 1, lockdown 2, lockdown 3, how they cope with it, trials, tribulations, people packing in the industry, people struggling with mental health, people struggling with a lot of life. You know, Barbers Arms has been one of those things in this industry, hairdressing and barbering, where we've documented this on a weekly basis. So I think tonight's guests were really good, really resonated with what's just happening at the right time.
You know what, though? The thing I like about guys like that, I know they're putting themselves up there, and you know they've been in competitions and they've been doing things, but they speak so well, don't they? You know, they seem grounded, nice fellas, and I like that, because you know he's the type of guy who could actually go out and have a beer with as well. You know, yeah. And I know we have an input in, you know, the guests that we have on the show, but I genuinely think when you talk and what, I mean, obviously I've watched his work and we judged it, but when you actually put a voice or a personality to the face, to the video or the photograph, what I do think is what a nice grounding. I mean, I didn't think he was that old, to be honest. You know, he said he's been in the industry for 12 years. He didn't look that old, did he? You know, and
you know what though, that competition though, Gaz, it's always been live on stage. This year it was on virtual. They had to send the videos in. This is what I'm trying to say. Garay or Dale might have projected themselves different live on stage, and they could have been the Wahl Barber of the Year. It was such a different competition this year, so that's why I said to him, "Don't be disheartened by it. Enter next year, and you know." It's just a different world at the minute. I've just got my last orders in. I've just got my last beer, Desperado.
Well, I'm just going to finish my Newcastle. I have been having a little. I've just found something. Ian, have you got anything? Have a shot, little shot with anything?
No, I'm not having a shot. I'm not having a shot. I'm not doing it with you.
Well, I am. So
I've had so many Saturdays where they've been written off of a lockdown through antics with you.
I'm just going to say to St. Patrick and all the dodgy Irish accents I've done through the show or in the past, I apologise. To Mr. Johnny King, but Amaretto, Italian. I've just discovered this and absolutely lovely.
Amaretto and a nice Coke is just like a Dr. Pepper's, which is a really nice aperitif, which you'll take for fun. Guys, coming up next week, Barbers Arms, we have got the amazing Ken Picton, past president of the Fellowship of British Hairdressing, award-winning stylist. Got a beautiful salon down there on Cardiff Bay. I think, if my memory serves me right, I think Ken has about 50 staff. So it's going to be really interesting next week to see how Ken's coped with lockdown, how he's dealt with furlough, and how he's going to bounce back as well. We've also got Barry Stevens, who is the current president of the Fellowship. So we've got the Fellowship Duos next week.
No, we've got the chair, which is Barry, and Ken is the president.
So we've got these guys on next week. Last time I saw Ken was at the Fellowship Awards, which would have been 2019. So I'm good mates with Ken as well. So look forward to seeing Ken next week and Barry. And we've also got MK Taro Cargo, who's going to be joining us on Barbers Arms for the first time and not before time as well in episode 46. These are going to be joining us next week on Barbers Arms. I'll leave you with one message. Congratulations and good luck to all our Welsh colleagues who are going to be back in the thick of it next week. Hopefully we can try to get some live barbers from Cardiff and different parts of Wales, Swansea and all different parts of Wales over the next couple of weeks so we can see what it's like back in action, and we'll fetch you that live on Barbers Arms from our Welsh colleagues that are back next week. The rest of us, a few weeks there that you've got to be patient and do the right thing. Continue to keep yourself safe, protect our NHS, and hopefully, you know, when we get back on the 12th of April, you hit the ground running and you have a fantastic comeback. But my thoughts at the minute, we're going to all our Welsh colleagues who are back in the saddle on Monday. Good luck to everybody. Hope you've enjoyed Barbers Arms episode 45. I'll pass you over to Gaz for his final word, but have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all our fantastic mothers out there, in particular mine. I can't wait to see her on Sunday. And I hope she has a fantastic day. So good luck to everybody. Gary, over to you.
Thanks, Sam. Well, all I can say is, yeah, big kiss to all the mothers out there. I'd love to kiss you all personally. But just quickly, we've done 73 days now. We're on day 73, lockdown 3. We've got 31 to go. So, you know, we'll be here following you, uplifting you, bringing you every bit of information we can as soon as we can. Happy Paddy's Day as well. From me and Simon, have a great weekend. All the very best, guys.
Have a nice weekend, guys.